I'm Cecelia Sterling, and this is the Adventures of Superchic. Today is a divine day, but aren't they all? So the story I'm going to share with you is the day that this show goes live on YouTube TV. There's going to be some references to some other stories I've already shared. And the best word to describe how I feel when I find out that the show is now live is elated. I am elated. I am so happy, grateful, excited, nervous. I am not feeling anxious, which is amazing because this is obviously a big sharing. And I shared the week before about feeling like, I'm about to run around the world with no clothes on, that type of feeling exposed. But when it actually goes live, I feel really good and actually confident about sharing. And that helps me feel like I'm doing the right thing. I'm in the right place for myself at this time. And I go back and forth with the producer. She lets me know she's had all of these tech issues for days, which I am buffered from. I am protected from experiencing. And that wasn't the way it's been in the past. And tech issues are scary to me. So I'm feeling very blessed and grateful and supported in the sense that I get to focus on these stories and how life is unfolding. And I don't have to deal with the tech department. And I've asked for this. I've literally prayed for this, and I am now receiving it. And I'm really grateful. And I actually post a little something on Instagram because I see this image. It's a Carrie Fisher quote, I guess. And it says something like, yeah, I overshare. It's my way of getting to know myself better. And I see it and I think, oh my God, that's exactly me. That's exactly what's going on right now. And she has just articulated something really clearly for me that I haven't had the words to state. And so I see it and I'm like, well, thanks for that reflection, right? So I post it on Instagram and I have a couple friends reach out and say, please share the link. It's two women in particular that I was a little hesitant to share with. And once they ask, I feel really good about sharing with them. And I just thought that in and of itself was interesting. Like sometimes you need to be invited to the table. You're not quite ready to just declare your seat. And in that particular exchange, that's how I felt. And it really felt good to share once it was requested. So thank you very much. And again, like divine order, right? Like I'm definitely feeling supported as I do something that is challenging, exciting, very new, and a bit uncharted, these waters for me. And in that morning, so when she lets me know that the show has gone live, I'm just so excited. It's a little bit of a surprise. And I'm in the midst of cooking dinners for my cousin who is going through cancer treatments. And my mom's coming to visit, and my house is a little bit of a mess. And I have a lot of insecurity around that. I have a lot of anxiety around I have insecurity around my ability to organize the space, and I have a lot of anxiety around how I feel in it when it's unorganized. Childhood stuff for sure, but also just like wanting to be a boss and like have my place be as gorgeous as I know it could be, right? As organized as I know it. I want to say should be. I'm not going to. Could be. I'm going to give myself some slack there. And my mom's coming, which is like an important audience member, if you will. So what I notice in this morning is, and I say this to my mom, making this food is so important to me and feels so good that the time it takes up pushes other things away that are less important. And I literally feel great about that shift. happy to prioritize these meals over doing one more load of laundry or organizing one more bin from a closet that gives a little more space for this corner of my mom's room to look cuter. And I really appreciate both acknowledging and being aware of that prioritization. And it makes me feel good about myself that providing this food is more important to me than how that looks, if you will. I feel like that's an aspect of my personal growth. And so I share that with her, and she's like, yeah, like that's so great, right? When your purpose and how you're spending your time feels really important. And the show is the same. Like, I'm not doing as much in one category of my life because I'm dedicating myself to the show, and that feels really important and really valuable. So again, I thank you for being on this journey with me. It helps me be more of who I actually want to be and spend my time doing what I want to do, which is exploring myself and my feelings and allowing these stories to unfold and noticing them and being grateful for them and all the gifts that show up in a day. And this is just such a great example of 24 hours that are just literally packed full. Right? So I'm feeling really good about the food. My show's up. I'm so grateful. I'm so excited. And to be honest, I've asked for this too. I've asked for the space and time to spend my energy on my purpose. And that's exactly what's happening in this morning. And I'm feeling really happy. So, and we have a good day planned. Like my mom's going shopping with us. We're going to go to the chiropractor, which if you've seen my show about alignment with Invisalign, which I'm not wearing today, I feel so much better. I have been going to the chiropractor, and when I get to the chiropractor, I'm telling her the show's going live, and I'm aware that, and she says, how are you feeling? And I say, you know what? I'm getting better. I am better. It's been a really rough 6 months since I got COVID and had to start going to the chiropractor. Whole nother story. Kind of epic, to be honest. Might be a couple episodes to tell that one. But I'm actually getting better. And in that moment of reflection, I think I'm becoming more aligned in so many ways. And I'm again grateful. She gives me the word of elated when I'm trying to describe how happy I feel about the show going live. She's happy for me. This is my community. I'm just feeling very blessed. I have my chiropractor experience. We go do lunch with Dad like we do on those Tuesdays. Then we actually go to the mall where we have another lunch at Seasons 52. I have a whole nother story about that restaurant from last December. And I'm just getting like a little reflection even on like how far I've come in a month. It's amazing all the things that happen in a day, in a week, in a month, in a year, in a decade, in a lifetime, right? So nice to be able to reflect. So we have lunch with Dad, and then we go, Lillian's dad, and we go to Paper Source afterward to pick up a gift for her closest friend at school who's having a birthday party this weekend. Ella's so excited. It's so sweet. And I'm actually really excited. I have a really good idea for a gift for her that's a craft that Ella and I have been enjoying doing ourselves. So we go to Paper Source. Source energy. Everything I see in the shop is a reflection of what I'm doing, how I'm feeling, how sparkly the divine is, and how it's just fully communicating with me. And I take pictures throughout the store. I'm like, this is amazing how much there is, right? It's literally like high fives from the universe coming to me. And so I'll share those on Instagram. But one is like James Bond charming quotes or something. If you have a lot of fear in your life, like I do, James Bond is your hero, right? Handsome, calm, cool, collected, willing to help, smart, not scared, not triggered, and can just navigate. And in that car, I mean, he's all the things for me. So there's a James Bond book. I've never seen it before. I'm like, ooh, thanks. Thanks, universe. And then there's several things, right? Like I'm just smiling, like, and I'm not shaking because I'm not anxious, but I am so happy that I am like bouncy in my day. I am buoyant. Another thing I've asked for. Thank you, universe. And Lillian finds another book in the store and she says, could you please read this one to me? And I think it's called Smart Cookie. I'll have to check the image. Oh my goodness. Talk about reflection. So the book is a charming children's book. I'll have to read it on here someday. And it's about this cookie who struggles in school. And one day the teacher gives an assignment to the students, and all the references in the book are about cooking and cookies and how the cookie crumbles. And it was just so cute. But one day the teacher gives an assignment to the students in the class, and it is literally go home and do something, anything, and share tomorrow. And the cookie is like half elated and half like, oh, what am I going to do? How can I possibly decide? And it ends up writing a poem and really finding resonance, bliss, comfort, like positive vibration with writing this poem. And that continues, even though it's a new experience for the cookie. The cookie shares the poem in class, and the overwhelming feeling is like joy, pride, connection with self, maybe more than anything. Teacher's response is, you keep on writing. And the cookie then talks about how once it's found its participation place, its contribution, the struggle doesn't go away, but it becomes easier in a sense, because all of a sudden the school experience becomes more dimensional, multidimensional. It's not just struggle. There are all these different aspects. Some are strengths, some are weaknesses, some are in the middle, some are likes, some are dislikes. But the cookie gets to know itself better and then enjoys its journey more, which is exactly this show for me. And again, why I thank you for being here with me. It's amazing the value and meaning and joy within working out your project and purpose and doing it and spending your time and energy that way, right? So I'm just like, all right, thank you for pointing out this book to me. So glad we got to read it. Thank you, universe, for communicating with me. I'm just so happy. And we leave Paper Source. I'm just like, wow, gifts just keep coming. And we go to the mall and we do a little shopping. And at one point, these two young women walk by me. One has like super cool long braids that are like half dyed pink. Hip. That's a word that I would use to describe these two young women. And they say to me, you look great today. Your outfit is on point. And I'm like, oh, did I just get a high five from young women in the world? And, I've been reflecting back a lot around like being in my 20s when I first started talking about stories for the adventures of Superchic. And there they were at that age. And like, I don't know, in some ways it like gave me a little permission to be or something. And I was trying to like, what is that feeling? It's like, I felt relevant. I got a high five from these young women. And my producer shared one of my stories with her two daughters who both enjoyed it. And they're in their early 20s. And I was just like, oh my God, I'm connecting. Like there are not enough friends in the world for me. I'm going to be honest. That's part of the reason I have a show. Connection is my love language. I'm connecting. And I feel, again, this is what I've asked for. I am receiving. I am so grateful. And I'm super grateful to have the awareness to notice and then celebrate and enjoy it. I mean, I'm just so happy. We shop at J. Crew, which is funny. Like I have this whole parallel to my experience in December. I don't need anything. Lillian doesn't need anything. I'm not really craving anything. I'm not wanting after anything. I'm feeling very satisfied with my wardrobe, which is also just like a really great moment, right? I don't always need something. And that was fun. Looked around a little bit. Got to hear this really great story from my mom about this green suit she had made for herself when my brother was little. And she said, you know, it just fit perfectly because she made it for herself. And it had, I guess, like a long short sleeve, not a 3/4, but here for a suit jacket. And she talked about that like with emphasis. And I was like, oh, I love a long short sleeve for a jacket, for a blazer jacket. I was like, oh, we have that in common. And it was just a very cool connection piece, right? And then we go to lunch, we celebrate. I have some bubbles, and I'm just like, oh, look at us. Elle has a crazy, amazing lunch that she loves. And for whatever reason, this particular day, she's just like eating and eating and eating and eating. Some days she doesn't eat much at all. Some days it's in the middle. And then some days she like eats for the week, right? And this was one of those days, and we kept like noticing and laughing about that. She also wore jeans. I think it's only the second time she's worn jeans. She's kind of into it. It's like, Mom, I want to wear jeans today. She got some hand-me-downs, and they're so good. And she's got her scooter at the mall and her Hemi. That's what we call helmet. And yeah, she's just like making her way through the world and really enjoying herself. And in this particular day, I am too. And that is such a lovely thing to go through your day like a 5-year-old, 4-year-old. Sorry. It's amazing. Okay, so we have our sparkly lunch and we head home, and she wants to watch a little something. So she gets 2 episodes of Bluey. I love Bluey. And it just occurs to me. She's like, I want to watch one more. And I said, you know, if you want to watch something, we could all watch my show. It's live. It has never occurred to me that someone could actually watch my show on a big TV in their living room. I've only considered it as something they would watch on their phone, just through their headphones or on their computer. And I just assume people have small computer screens, which also isn't true necessarily. And we do. My mom, my husband, my daughter, and I sit on the sofa and watch my show. And I'm sharing. Not only am I sharing with all of you, I'm sharing with my family. I used to hide a lot. And maybe that's part of the reason that like my passions coming out are such a big deal to me, is I think I didn't always dive into them for myself. I don't know. Or I just didn't feel as happy or comfortable sharing them. Or I don't know exactly. But there's something in this that I feel confident enough to share. And so there was this pride and this like, wow, this is so special. And remember my story about the TV showing up at my house and then like it having the 42. I mean, that's my gifts and beliefs story. It's also posted. And then there's the follow-up of my producer saying, maybe like your history is, or your future is on the TV. Maybe my history is too. Past lives. And I'm just like, I'm elated. I'm elated. And we've delivered the food to my family, and I've just had such a wonderful day. We go to bed, my mom's staying with us, and in the morning we get off to school, and it's on that particular day, my husband takes her, so I have a little more time in the morning. And I'm going to have a meeting, and I asked my mom if she needs anything before I go sign into the meeting. And I'm like, do you want some music on? And she's like, I don't know. What do you want? And I'm like, well, I'm going to the meeting. What do you? And we just have this, like, we're kind of stuck for a second. I'm like, why is this hard? But whatever, no big deal. And then she looks at me and says, could I have the Today Show on? Thank you, universe. Yeah. So I figure out how to put the Today Show on my TV, which I've never done before on this TV in this house. This all started with the Today Show. Like when I was a kid, the Today Show being on in the living room, I just have a lot of positive feelings around that. My mom was home. We're not in a hurry. I don't know, it's warm and cozy. And I loved Jane Pauley. And like, it was this combination of her being this very professional boss. I loved her outfits. Like, I have an image of an outfit of hers right now. It's like this A-line skirt, sweater, you know, kind of 70s. I just loved her. And she went on to have twins. And we have twins in my family. And that just was like, oh, Jane Pauley has twins too. You know, like when you imagine kind of seeing yourself in high up places as a kid. And I just have all these positive feelings around the Today Show being on as a kid. And then just immediately in my mind, fast forward to the morning show, which to me is about the Today Show. And Reese Witherspoon's character being the very spark that my brain responded to and said, I'm going to have my own show and do it my own way. And right around that time, I got this haircut and I was like, that's a good haircut for a show. We find permission where we need it, I guess. And there'll definitely be another show here around my experience of the morning show, and I've just come full circle. And it's been 24 hours. And then I get a message on Instagram. It's not like my cousin that I sent my show to and said, please watch. It's someone who's not a close friend or family. And they say, I loved your show. And it got me thinking about something differently. And I had an aha moment. And I am connected to that person. The whole purpose of this show is to say, like, I can be the leading lady in my life. Thank you, the holiday. I can be just a girl and have a show. Because what happens in my life is important. I matter and you matter. And when we share, sparks fly. And I mean, talk about full circle. I am living my current purpose. And because I have a show, I have more attention to notice all these glorious details in how divine a day can be. And I'm just so grateful and elated. It's really amazing. Life is so sparkly. And with that, I'll sign off. Please subscribe for more episodes in my so-called divine life. This is Cecelia Sterling. I am Cecelia Sterling. This is the Adventures of Superchic. Ciao for now.